We're rolling. We're rolling. Let's get it. Hello friends, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Larissa Noon here, realtor with eXp Realty here in Drumheller, Alberta, aka, yes, you know it, dinosaur capital of the world. And on today's episode of Keeping It Real Estate, we are bringing back the home buying journey. Yes. Now, I have already done a previous video of the home buying journey. It was actually my first video uploaded to my YouTube channel. It still remains here and I will link it in the cards above. It's still a relevant video. I speak about a lot of important things that are still relevant to this day, so be sure to watch that video after watching this one. It's still a gem. For this video, I decided that I wanted to create a presentation or a Prezi presentation. So if you don't know what a Prezi is, it's kind of like a PowerPoint but with animations. It's more interactive, I would say, and more visually pleasing to the eye. So this presentation is for my visual learners who want to have a more graphic visual idea of what the home buying journey actually entails. So this is the home buying journey in seven pillar steps. But before we begin, if you are new here, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss any of my uploads, and follow me on Instagram at Loden Living for more real estate content just like this. So let's get into the video. Starting with point number 1, get pre-approved. Now, contradictory to what you may think, the home buying journey starts with the mortgage broker or mortgage lender. So this is the game planning or warm-up before actually playing the game. Do you get what I mean? So of course we all know that buying a home is a huge financial investment, and it's important to work with somebody who will start you at your home or your first base. So what's important that you need to do is, even if you're not going to be buying a home within the next couple of months, it's still important to go out and talk with a mortgage specialist or a mortgage broker to have an idea of what the process actually entails. So what's going to be happening when you work with the mortgage specialist or broker? You're basically going to go through a qualifying process, and so this is your pre-approval or mortgage application process. So this is basically the profile your lender will get to determine whether they want to take you on as a client or not. So getting pre-approved will approximate how much you can borrow in total. It can lock in an interest rate for the specific length of your term and can also determine approximately what your monthly payments could look like. So let's move on to the mortgage applications part of it. So when you sit down and work with your mortgage broker or your mortgage specialist, you will be asked for your ID, proof of income, so things like your pay stubs. They will ask for your bank statements. They will do a credit check with your permission. They will ask you for your assets. So this is things like car payments, your debts, how much debt you have, and proof of your down payment. Your down payment is the portion of the home price that is not being financed with a mortgage. So this can be your 5% down, your 10% down, or your 20% down. Now remember, if you do not put more than 20% down, that is considered a high ratio mortgage and you will be required to get that mortgage insured. And speaking of that, I've done a previous video of mortgage default insurance, which I will link in the cards above, so watch that video as well. So essentially, based on your mortgage application and supporting documentation, your lender will or could render a commitment letter stating your maximum purchase price, your interest rate, and term length. So that document or that reassurance is basically the ammunition to your gun. So this gives you the gas in your car to start the home buying process, which moves us into step 2, which is your realtor consultation or your buyer consultation. So when you decide to work with a realtor, you will most likely sign a written contract known as an exclusive buyer representation agreement. This agreement essentially includes the details of the specific home that you want to buy, the services that that specific realtor and their brokerage will provide, and how that realtor will be compensated, and their responsibilities and obligations to you, as well as your responsibilities during the duration of that agreement. Now, an important thing here, when you're working with a buying agent, essentially it is for free because the seller takes care of compensating both the listing and buying realtor commissions. Now going into the home search, you want to of course have your needs and wants and identify what your must-haves and deal breakers are, but also keep in mind the things that you could live without if this specific home has these top 3 criteria. So of course you want to have an idea of your price range, the size of your home, location, the style of the home, numbers of beds and bath, key features and inclusions. And in regards to this criteria, I have done a previous video of what you should keep in mind when purchasing a home. So I will link that in the cards above. It really helps with step 3 when you're viewing properties. So check that out. Now moving on to step number 3. Viewing homes. So this is undoubtedly one of the most exciting parts of the real estate journey because you are actually getting to view the homes that you want to see, right? So I advise only viewing 3 to 4 properties at a time or per day, because viewing any more than that is very overwhelming. And viewing that many homes in a day, you will most likely forget what each home looks like. If the market allows for it, say if you are in a buyer's market where there is lots of inventory, lots of homes, and low buying demand, you may want to view a property twice before making an offer. So number 4, make an offer. So yes, you have found that home, you love it, and it's time to pull the trigger and make an offer. Beware that good homes do move very quickly, and I know that viewing lots of homes, again, can be overwhelming, so there is that aspect of analysis paralysis. But again, you don't want to miss out on the opportunity of buying a home that you really like. So don't be scared, and you never know what could happen. Just make an offer. So when you make an offer, what are the key elements of drafting an offer? So of course, your realtor will sit down with you and draft the offer with you. So the key points here are determining the offer price you want to purchase this home for, right? And then you are going to put down a deposit amount and a due date. So there is a difference between your deposit and a down payment. Your deposit is essentially a portion of your down payment that is submitted with your offer to purchase. The significance of having a deposit shows the sellers that you are serious about buying this property in good faith, and you must have these funds readily available. And in terms of the deposit, this money will be held in the listing real estate office trust account until the deal is closed by the sellers. Moving on to your possession date. So this is the day you will take legal ownership of the property. And moving on to that, you'll have your inclusions and exclusions. So inclusions are things like appliances, so your stove, fridge, things like that. And you want to make sure these things are written into the contract. Even though it might be on the listing or the MLS listing, it's not official unless it is written into the contract. So make sure you have those things there. And then you'll have your conditions and your due date. So your conditions are your financing conditions. So this is to get your mortgage approved officially and have the funds secured. And then you most likely will have a property inspection. So this is something that you have to this is at your cost, at the buyer's cost, and that is something you will have to schedule on your own. And then sometimes if you are not a first-time home buyer, you may have to sell your home first before being able to buy this one. And if you are purchasing a condominium unit, then you will have a condition for condo document review. And the second last thing, you might have a final walkthrough date. That isn't always necessary, but in some cases, if you have agreed that in the purchase contract that the seller is to fix something, you want to make sure you have a due date there and any repercussions or holdbacks or monetary holdbacks if that specific term is not met. And then the last thing is the date and time for acceptance or expiration of your offer. So this is basically giving the sellers a set amount of time to review your offer and give you a counter offer or accept your offer. So this creates a window of urgency, which can be a good thing and can be used to your advantage. Now, moving on to number 5, satisfy conditions. So after you have an accepted offer, everything is agreed to in the purchase contract, you have a window of time. So this is also considered your buyer due diligence. You have 5 to 10 business days in order to satisfy and remove your conditions. So if you have a financing condition, you have to give this purchase contract to your mortgage broker or mortgage specialist, and they will review that, and then it will hopefully go through and you will get your financing approved. And also during this time, if you have a property inspection, you will want to get that done within that time as well. So, final waivers. If all conditions are met and satisfied on or before on the condition day, we will submit a written notice for satisfaction of conditions to the seller and the realtor. When this happens, the sale of the home becomes firm and you are legally obligated to proceed with the real estate transaction. Now, on the other side of things, if the conditions are not met or satisfied, so you weren't able to get financing or the property inspection did not come back to your liking, you can submit a written notice for non-satisfaction of conditions, which means that the deal is dead and you are allowed to walk away from the real estate transaction and receive your deposit back. But hoping things all go through, we would move on to step 6, which is conveyance of deal. So once all conditions are satisfied and removed, the purchase contract, waivers, and any written amendments, if there are any, are conveyed to the lawyers. Now, generally speaking, the listing or real estate office is responsible to convey all this paperwork regarding the transaction to both your lawyer and the seller's lawyer. So your lawyer will then, after they receive the paperwork, they will contact you 1 to 2 weeks prior to possession in order to finalize the required closing documents. Now, when you meet with your lawyer, you will need to bring photo ID, the funds for your down payment. So this is the amount of money minus the deposit amount you submitted with the purchase offer. So say your total down payment is $20,000 and you gave a $3,000 deposit, then you would need to come to the lawyers with a $17,000 check or bank draft. You just need to have that money in hand. And you would also need to provide documentation of a home insurance policy to the meeting with your lawyer. So your lawyer will discuss and go over all the legal document regarding the deal. So you will take a look at the real property report and see if there are any possible restrictions or caveats registered against the property. You might talk about title insurance. You will discuss closing costs, disbursements, and property tax adjustments. You will also discuss your mortgage contract documents, and you will sign the documents to transfer the property's title in your name, which is the most important thing. You want your name on title, okay? And 7, almost there, final walkthrough and possession. Now, a walkthrough isn't always necessary unless it is written into the contract. So a final walkthrough is a pre-inspection that happens before possession. So it happens 24 to 48 hours before possession. So this is basically to ensure that the property is in the condition as when you submitted the offer to purchase and confirm your findings with your lawyer. So again, going back to repairs. If there was something the seller had to repair before closing and that was written into the contract, you want to make sure that what you asked for has been done, and if not, there should be consequences. But again, all of that has to be written into the purchase contract. So if you have repairs and they are not done, there should be a repercussion for the seller or a monetary holdback on closing day. And on the day of possession, your lawyer will disperse the purchase funds to the seller's lawyer and transfer the title of ownership in your name and call you to confirm the proceedings. Usually possession happens at 12 noon, so it's advised to not book your moving trucks for exactly 12 noon because we want to make sure that if there are any unforeseen delays that they are immediately addressed. But other than that, if everything goes well, goes smoothly, the funds are received by the sellers, then you will receive a call from your lawyer. I will receive a call from the lawyers saying that keys are releasable, and then from there I will be able to meet you at your home and hand you the keys to your property. And so congratulations, you are officially a homeowner. So that was 7 pillar steps of the home buying journey. Now, I actually have a very detailed home buying guide, and which I will link in the description box below. It's free, you can download it. I talk about a lot of important things, a lot of important little details, so definitely download that guide and watch this video a couple times through to make sure you understand the entire buying process. But other than that, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, share it with your family and friends, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram at Loden Living for more real estate content just like this. And until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye friends!